Lee, it's Monday. No, it's not.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, you were ill yesterday, weren't you?
I was.
You feeling better?
I am, thanks.
Cool. I just worked from home. I did some DLC stuff for Hexceed, admin, tax, boring stuff, and some logo stuff for WooLoop. The logo's looking a bit better now.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've just done sprint planning. What are you doing?
Yeah, so today I'm doing a YouTube video, just getting that done as quick as I can, so you can then watch it later on and get it uploaded. And the rest of the week's going to be all Hexceed stuff, I imagine. Because there's lots of other DLC coming out next week, the first DLC of the year for Hexceed. And there's been very little progress on so far. You made some template levels yesterday to help out.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, just making a start on all the levels. The world layout's done, just need to actually put it out with workable, playable levels, and that should be good.
Yeah, good stuff. I'll probably be testing the levels that you do later in the week. But for me, I'm going to be working on who should my shapes, so I need to make a start on the settings menu, which I'm absolutely dreading. It's going to be awful work. I'm going to hate Lee. But later in the week, I'm going to be working from home, so I'm going to be doing some WooLoop stuff as well, I think. I'm looking after Luna. Kim's away. Yes, the settings menu stuff. I'm basically just nicking the idea that we got from Hexceed, where you've got these like various tabs that you can cycle between. I managed to get that working, which is quite easy, thankfully. So yeah, now I can just dig down and try and fill out some of these settings options. So we've got audio, we've got obviously going to have 2 sliders for sound effects and music. Accessibility, this is going to be all about like changing the colours of the cube like stickers, just because I know that Lee has issues seeing the difference between some of the colours we've got in the cube, so we need to have that really. And then display is going to be all the display settings like resolution and whatnot. So yeah, just going to have to take it one page at a time. Okay, so it's a couple of hours later. I've been working on getting some of these settings in. So we've got one accessibility setting, so we've got wanting to add some colorblind options. Mainly just because we know that, well, the whole game's based on colors, right? And if you can't differentiate between these colors, then it's going to be very, very difficult for people. So I've quickly made a drop down. The drop down saves, but at the moment this setting doesn't actually do anything. What it'll eventually do is, once you click a new setting, all of these stickers that are placed on the cubes will be swapped out for more colorblind appropriate colors. But yeah, other than that, I've got some audio settings as well. These work. These are quite easy because it's just a copy and paste job from our previous games. And yeah, they work quite well. So if I unmute the audio as well, you can see that if I raise music volume gets higher, and then it turns off when it gets to 0. So it all updates in real time, which is really nice. And yeah, I think that pretty much just leaves, apart from getting this setting actually implemented properly, the display stuff. But that's a job for tomorrow, definitely, because that's quite a big one.
We heard what you're going to say.
What am I saying?
Rob!
Lee?
It's Music Wednesday!
Yes, it is, yeah.
We just had our stand-up for today. What are you doing?
Yeah, so for me, more settings stuff for who shook my shapes. So I'm going to be working on the graphic settings today, which is going to be really awkward because it's not as easy as doing normal settings. There's a lot more things that, like, sometimes the game has to restart, and sometimes it's just a whole thing. But yeah, that and another setting that we forgot to add yesterday, so the timer setting. So we want a timer in the game just so people can track their like how long it takes them to complete a puzzle. We need that as well. So one simple thing, one really hard thing.
Yeah, pretty good. For me, you watched the YouTube video this morning and you've given feedback on what needs changing. There's a couple of changes, so I'm going to go ahead and make those edits and get that uploaded. Other than that though, it's just me a case of completing levels on Hexceed. I've already gotten a few done today. Then just do as many as I can, get as many done as I can.
Good stuff.
It's been into the afternoon now and I have just hit the 20 levels mark, which is quite good progress. It's really big thanks to Rob making the templates, been helping quite a lot in getting the levels done quite quickly. And it's also led to some very interesting level layouts. At this one right here, it's quite interesting. I wouldn't have thought of doing this myself, but it's led to quite interesting level, quite fun to play. So hopefully you guys think that as well, and we'll keep going on with this and we'll get as many done as we can.
Alright, okay, so we've got some settings working, some display settings. So as you can see, the game's now windowed mode, at a smaller resolution. That's just one of the configurations you can have. So on this display tab, we've got these settings. It's just the same as we've got in Hexceed. A lot of copy paste work because it took me a long time to figure this stuff out for Hexceed, so I don't really want to mess it up. But you can basically change which screen you want it to launch on, whether you want it windowed, full screen, whatever, which resolution you want, VSync, and what VSync you want it locked to as well. You can see there's a few glitches moments, so like for example when you got VSync on, this becomes so you can't interact with it, which is as intended because you can't really control the FPS if you've also VSynced it. But yeah, the visualization for that's broken. You can see this resolution is set to default at the beginning when it's not. It's actually that needs fixing. And a lot of the stuff I need to work on really is to do with the flow of this. So I think I've got it saving and loading correctly, but some of the settings don't update on the fly. Some of them require the game to restart. So for example, this one, whenever you change this setting, you need the game to restart because you can see I'm changing the screen now and nothing's changing at all. And for these full screen, the screen modes, that only works when you actually click home to back out. I managed to get the timer implemented and things like that, and you can revert the settings previously. But I don't think the flow is quite correct at the moment. But yeah, I'm getting there. I've made a huge dent in the work today, but it's not going to be done by any stretch of imagination. Lee,
Rob,
it's Thursday.
it's Thursday, yeah? You went
St.
from home?
Patrick's Day.
It is. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, woo. I'm working from home today because Kim's on a business trip, so I'm looking after Luna. Here she comes. Here she comes. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. There you go. There she is.
It's got a little stool.
Yeah. Dog sitting. Good girl. Yeah, but we're just on stand up. What are you doing?
Yeah, so with it being St. Patrick's Day, put out a couple of little posts, mainly just reminding people that there is the seasonal event in Colour Pixels. Because unlike most of the events, this one only runs for one day, so if you miss it, you have to wait next year. So put the post out, let people know that that's the thing. Other than that though, it's just me case of getting hexceed levels done again. So I got 20 done yesterday, I want to get a lot done because it's 150 total I need doing. So yeah, just going to work on that and get as many levels done as I can.
Cool. As for me, I'm going to be working mainly on WooLoop today. So earlier in the week I did a lot of work on the logo. Now I've called her name, she's going to be pestering me. Oh goodness. I did a lot of work on the logo, but there's still a lot of improvements we want to do on that before we sort of like make it live and publish the store page. So I'm going to be working on that. I've also done some work on the Hexceed DLC as well, so I've been doing some level templates for you, Lee, so you can jump into the levels much easier. But yeah, I think that'll pretty much be it. I might get some programming done later, I don't know. Maybe.
We'll see.
Hey girl, that's all you want now, isn't it? You want me to play with the ball with you? Come here. Okay, so I spent a bit of time earlier in the week working on the WooLoop logo. So this is the old logo that we had. We kind of like the idea of having like curly, like cursive text and sort of like joining up the two words wool and loop like this, but it was just a first pass, let's be honest. There's quite a few problems we had with it. It was literally just text. This L wasn't really right. The colours are a bit off, and the background is just too dark, so you can't actually see what's going on. So I did spend a bit of time working on this, improving this for like an iteration 2 earlier in the week, and this is what I came up with. So you can see this text in the middle here is looking a lot better. This is we're actually really happy with this. So it's probably close to actually being done, this centre bit. So we've got like this like underline going on. We've got this L that actually flows into an underline as well. The colours are a bit better. We thought that doing the capital W and the capital L would be better than just splitting up the words in the two colours. We're not 100% sure on these colours that we're using at the moment, but colours are something that we can change at the end. Like literally it's like a 2-minute job to change colours, so it's what we're sticking with at the moment. We're kind of happy with it, we kind of like it. And one thing that we didn't like was this surround stuff. that I started doing. So basically the idea was that you have this centerpiece, it's the logo, then in the background you just have lots of shapes and stuff to sort of illustrate that the game's sort of like child friendly, it's creative, there's lots of bright colors, that sort of like vibe going on. But unfortunately it just doesn't look good. It contrasts with the logo, and yeah, it just doesn't look nice, does it? It looks cheap and tacky, doesn't it? So what I've been doing today anyway is working on the new logo. So as you can see, we've got this text, very, very similar. One thing that you might notice is that it's got a white outline, but that's just to make it like pop a little bit more. Other things we've changed are we've added this sort of like a textured background, sort of like a linen textured background we've got going on. And another thing we've been playing around with is this like sort of like pinned, sort of like in-game thematic background. So we've got like lots of pins in this linen, and we've got string going between them. It doesn't look great. We kind of like it, the style, but there's a few problems. So these pins are obviously just huge, way too big. The string isn't exciting enough, and when I was doing this, it was just random, so it doesn't look good. So I started doing some research anyway. I started looking through my Steam library, looking at various logo arts and stuff that people have already made for their games, sort of comparing, contrasting, that kind of stuff. So what we've been playing around with is this. So this is the current iteration, I guess. Basically the plan is to have the WooLoop logo at the bottom. This is obviously the old one, but we're going to have sort of like the text at the bottom, and then have lots of bits of rope in a similar style to what we've got for this, but obviously done a little bit nicer. We kind of like this for a few reasons. So we're playing on the rule of thirds a bit. So when you split up the logo into thirds, so like a third here, another third here, another third here, we've got the text in the bottom third, and then the rope that we're going to have done obviously a bit nicer than this. We're going to have it sort of like split up into density. So the top third is going to be like really dense stuff, then the middle third is going to be a bit lighter, but there's still stuff going on. And the bottom third is not going to be much at all. And that's the plan of that is to just sort of like lead the player or the viewer, I guess, flowing down into the logo. That's the direction that we're going to go anyway. I'm going to try and spend some time actually getting this to look nice now. Obviously this is Paint.net, not Photoshop, so I'm going to spend some time converting that now.
Lee, it's Friday.
It's Friday.
Yeah, woo. We're just gonna stand up like we usually do. What are you up to today?
Yeah, so I've just set the YouTube video live. Having to play around with some merch stuff as well, just to sort of get the day started. But other than that, I'm going to be just going on doing more levels. Just got a lot to do, so just want to get as many hexceed levels done as I can and get them pushed for you tonight to make a build.
Oh, bless. Yeah, but for me, I'm going to be helping you out with the hexceed levels today. So I did some more level templates, just getting the sort of like the white patterns down. So I'm probably going to do a bit more of that. But then other than that, I'm going to try and tackle the milestone levels just to sort of help you out a bit. So get back on schedule with the DLC coming up next week. So should be fun.
So I didn't record anything yesterday. It was just a day of making levels, and I decided to do mostly from home, which is why there was no footage. But made some decent progress. Not as much as I would have liked, but at least it was a decent amount. And again, same with the previous day. All these levels were, or at least the layouts, but templates that Rob designed. So it's a bit of variety from the previous books, because just adding a bit extra, or a bit of a fresh look on the way the levels can look. So quite happy with quite happy with a lot of them. Still need testing by Rob, obviously. So when the levels get tested, we'll see if there's any changes that need to be made. But for now, at least the levels are playable, and they are. And I have play tested them all myself at least once, so it should be hopefully all right. Did spend the morning doing a little bit of fun, essentially just to start my Friday. I went ahead and designed a new mug for each of my shapes. Initially had the same banner we have for the store page with just a grid of squares, but it looked too busy and didn't look quite good on the actual mug, so I went ahead and made it a bit sparse. And it's very basic, but I think it's alright. I'm quite happy with it, at least on the mock-up view, looks alright. So I've informed Rob, let him know, have a look, and I think we'll be doing a test order. Obviously quite bland on the other side, but doesn't look as good repeating the logo in my opinion. Quite a nice solid red matches the logo, which I'm quite happy with. But yeah, I think we'll be doing a test order, so we're getting one of these physically in order to make sure we're happy with it before we put it on any store pages. But yeah, happy with that. There's a few more merch stuff we all want to look at. So just offering just more items like t-shirts of the game with game logos on, possibly posters, that sort of thing, just to sort of flesh it out, because right now it's very bare bones what we actually offer, and more people will be interested in game related stuff than actually ToastieLabs related stuff, we imagine. So when we get a bit of spare time as well, we'll hopefully do that. I just want to get the actual mug sorted for the game so we can attach it to any marketing posts we have for He Shuffled My Shapes coming up in the near future.
She's ready.
You ready, girl? You ready to do wrap up? Lee, it's the weekend.
It's the weekend.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's been a good week, hasn't it? You were off on Monday, of course,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's been quite simple. Just checking things off the to-do list. What have you been up to?
Yeah, so it's a very straightforward week for me. Obviously started the week with the YouTube video, as always. But then went on to just doing hexceed levels for the rest of the week. Obviously with helping you, you've made quite a few sort of templates, layouts. So we're making those into actual playable levels. And that's pretty much taken up all my week, really, doing hexceed.
Yeah, I've helped you with a couple of the milestone levels as well. I've been doing that today. So just a lot of hexceed stuff, really. I've also been working on Who Shuffled My Shapes. So, oh, Luna, look at her. I've also been working on Who Shuffled My Shapes quite a bit. So I've been adding the settings menu, which is something obviously I've been dreading. But thankfully I've only put like 2 days into it this week, so I'm actually in a better mood than I thought I was going to be. Yeah, so that's good. Made a start on the display settings as well, which is like a whole other beast. Yeah, that's been quite good. Some localization stuff for Colouring Pixels on Switch, just a little bit, basically sending off the translations to the company and then answering any questions they've got. Hopefully we'll get that back pretty soon. They sent me an email saying that they're very close, they're just waiting on a couple of outstanding questions. But yeah, been a good week, pretty straightforward. I did some WooLoop stuff as well, worked on the logo, it's quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, merch, you did merch, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit today. So it's just sort of like Friday morning, bit of fun. Made a mug, Who Shuffled My Shapes. Which I believe you've ordered now. We'll test that, see how it looks.
Yes, yeah, it's all ordered.
But to make the most of the offer we get to test the products, we made 2 posters as well. So I kind of make quick mock-ups. You fix a bit because I just do make it really quickly. And yeah, we'll test those as well because there's 2 different types of paper you can get the print on, and we'll just see which one's better, I guess, right? It's kind of the big thing to check.
I've ordered the big ones, big posters. You got to test out the big ones, right? So hopefully we'll have those in the back of the office soon. That'd be cool.
But yeah, thank you for watching the video. Try not to get distracted by Luna as much as I am. And thanks again to the Patreons as always for helping us out. The alpha build's still there if you guys check it out. Been some updates that I've done to it last week if you haven't played since the first iteration. But yeah, check it out. Same hexceed will be coming out today hopefully as well. So if we get it done on time, so make sure you download that and check that out as well.
Yeah, but we'll get it done, Lee. We'll get it done.